Hey guys, it's Maria.
This is Tim.
Today is Sunday, May the 20th, 2018. Welcome to our weekly recap.
Maria, what a day it was last week. Go ahead and give us those closing numbers for how the week ended.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look. The Dow ended the day up 1 point and closed at 24,715. NASDAQ was down 28 points and closed at 73.54. And the S&P 500 was down 7 points and closed at 2712.
Not bad. A little bit of an elbow scrape on a couple things, but not bad. There's a lot of, do we have a China deal? Is there North Korea summit? A little bit of uncertainty the last couple of days, but not the drops we normally see over that kind of stuff. Like the market handled all that pretty well compared to a month ago or 2 months ago. So it's going to be interesting. We have a lot to go over. Low floats, some flow, some bigger stocks. I'm just going to kind of mix it up. And I did want to start with ECYT, Maria. This is one when we first started doing webinars, we talked about over and over. This had just had, and I don't remember the name of the funds, and I should have before we got started. But ECYT, and these lines that you're seeing on here are lines we had, I don't know, 2 months ago, Maria? Long
Yeah,
time.
a couple months back. Yeah.
And that we had told people to watch. The 8 was where we wanted it to hold, blah, blah, blah. But the one what we kept saying is funds don't normally get involved with smaller stocks, and this thing was under $3 at one point when it got started, at least under 5. So, Maria, what kind of news resparked this, if anything? And I just want to tell everybody to go ahead and keep an eye on this. Again, you should have never had your eyes off of it, actually. What was the
I
catalyst on this?
agree. So the last piece of news I have, it was back on May the 16th, and they will be presenting at ASCO on June the 2nd at 1:15 Central Time. So Saturday, June 2nd, they do have a presentation coming up. It looks like it ran more on ER, but it actually did not run on the ER. They actually ran on a study that came out at the same time, or right around, or like I think it was the same day. They announced that information at the same time as the ER. Yeah, 5/9 was the ER date, and they announced publication of phase 2 data. I'll make that bigger so you guys can see it. So it is definitely moving. There is momentum behind it. There is a potential catalyst coming up. So we will definitely keep an eye on this one.
Definitely keep an eye on this one. We had several good plays this week. People often think that we just trade off of options flow. Like everybody knows that we're options traders, and they think, well, Black Box has killer flow. They just trade off flow. And I wanted to kind of, I don't want to say rebuke that, but to get rid of that myth that we are not just flow traders. We do use it. We'll give some examples today. We're also momentum traders. Probably at half or more of our plays come off of ERs or just something that happens because the flow before an ER you won't pay attention to. But after that ER comes out, you forget that they ever had flow. All you're concentrating on is the numbers. And we're going to give a couple
Yeah.
examples. Macy's, Maria, let's go ahead and pull up Macy's. And then TTD. And Macy's, I think it was Wednesday, my granddaughter was graduating kindergarten.
Yeah.
So I had to be gone. So I'm texting Maria and Teresa and everybody and saying, listen, Macy's is in play. It traded almost 4.5, 5 million before the market opened and was just ripping. And so as soon as the market opened, now I'm at this graduation, it popped, came back down, kind of settled in. We gave it a little bit. And I hit the room I'm sitting on Discord on my phone while I'm supposed to be watching this. And I said, guys, Macy's, let's go. And we bought the 32s for June. And what a day. And right there in that little circle, we didn't catch the bottom by any means, but it wasn't far off. It was just great timing. And we swung those because we said, hey, this is great art, great ER. You're not going to get it all in one day like TTD that we'll show in a second. So we did swing these, and we got out of those 32s anywhere from 100 to 135%. So that's a lot of what we did too. And there was no flow in Macy's yet. I mean, it was all irrelevant. All we were playing was ER. And historically, what these things do on ERs, depending on certain factors. So that's where a lot of our plays come from. And that was a good one right there. No position
Yeah.
in Macy's now. I do kind of like the way that chart's setting up there. I'll keep an eye on it. But this one, yeah, we got out the next day, just sweet. We was looking for a gap. We played the gap, got out. Maria TTD, another one. You called this one long and told the room, hey, TTD runs for days after they beat. And wow, good call.
Yeah, it was, we did, I'll probably have to go back 10 days on it. 10 days. So, and I'll show you a couple of confirms just from the last couple of days. TTD is known for, especially if they beat, they are a multi-day runner 90% of the time. And they will typically run anywhere from 3 to 7 days, sometimes a few days more or less or whatever, but they're usually a solid runner. So we played it after ER. They released on Thursday, not this past Thursday, the Thursday prior. We played it Friday, Monday. I don't remember if we played it. We played it Tuesday, caught a little bit on Wednesday. Actually, we swung it into Wednesday. And then we caught, or at least I caught a little bit Thursday and Friday. So 50% play, not bad.
If that was the
So,
swing, several actually shorted it Thursday. I know that Tech Money did, Vishal did, Teresa did. I
I
think
did too, actually.
You shorted
I
that one as
did.
well.
I went into it way too late, so I made like 80 bucks on it. Nothing big.
Yeah, good
But
trade, good swing on that.
then the second confirmation, so 70, almost 76% or so. Nice trade. I'll take it. And I actually had one of our members DM me and say, what made you go long on this one? So if we go, let me go 5 days, 5 minutes. What I was watching for, or what I was looking for, at least again, I didn't know how much it was going to run. I was just looking for a quick in and out kind of trade, or hold it for 10, 15 minutes and be out. What I was watching, and I have it circled right here, was the break of the resistance at the end of the day or in the latter part of the day on Thursday. So that break, as soon as that, and we're looking at 5 minute or a 5 minute chart right here, but on the 1 minute chart, when we broke through there, that's where I took my long. And it just kept going. And to be honest with you, I kind of it's not like I completely forgot I was in it, but I got distracted a little bit, didn't really realize that I was still in the position, and it worked out. So not that, you should forget that you're ever in a position or anything like that, but it happens every now and then. And luckily this time it worked out.
We'll take that all day. And that goes to show, not every options play we do in Black Box has to do with flow. We love flow. We watch everything that comes through on flow. We do play it, but sometimes it's about momentum and it's just about charts. And,
Yeah.
Sometimes flow can start momentum. Sometimes it comes after momentum. And sometimes you can have momentum without any of the above. So
And
it's
actually,
not
this is
always
a
about
good,
flow.
sorry, and this is actually a good example. This flow that came in on Friday. So we didn't see a whole bunch of flow coming in right after the ER or anything. They actually waited several days. That flow came in Friday. So above normal, directionally bullish. So
We're
our
selling to
play,
those guys.
right. Yep, exactly.
We're selling to those guys. But anyway, let's hit another low float real quick. Sea drill. Now, this is one we talked about in our last video. I can't remember when we did that. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday of last week?
I think it was Wednesday.
And, we were watching for the break of, I don't know, 40 something, which you have that bottom red line.
Yep, that one is
Yep.
at 0.4193, so 42 basically.
So this right here is where we currently, that top red line and those circles that Maria has across there at, I don't know, 63 probably. That's what we're watching right now. I know we got through that on Thursday, but that's kind of where it's settled in and it's having some issues right there. So we are looking for the break of that. What is that, 63? It's hard for me to
It's
tell.
like it's 0.6299. So yeah, 63.
Close enough. We'll take it. So that is what
Yep.
we're currently watching in Seadrill. But this has been on a nice run, though. I mean, some people made a lot of money on this one. And another one that's on a nice run, TRXC. We have some members killing TRXC. I know Likewell, Okie Dokie. These guys have been in this thing since, $70s and 80s, 90s. Talk about a pretty chart.
It is gorgeous. I mean, and I like this company. And the line that I have on, we put this line on here, I believe last week, actually, we looked at it. 305.
Yeah.
Where did it close? Actually, it crossed through there after hours. So let's see if that continues. But prior to after hours, we were watching 305, and I'd like to see that 305 intraday.
That's right.
Inside.
Last Wednesday when we talked about it, that was the number we were watching. You're exactly right. 305. That was the congestion before, and we'll see what happens. Like you say, after hours, will that hold? Good question. We'll find out. We do like this company. We do like this company, and this is another one. This is our very first. I don't want to call it low float. It's got a cheaper stock that we did had in our newsletters. So we like that.
Yep.
We got a little.
Yeah, that was last
What
year,
do you
Tim. We've
last
been
year? What do you
keeping an
call
eye on this one since last year. Like when
Sentimental.
initially. Yeah.
Sentimental. So let's go ahead. We're going to bounce. I'm going to bounce back and forth between these. Let me give you a good example of flow we do watch. Amazon. Let's go ahead and hit that, because this had just unbelievable activity on Friday. I don't want to say unbelievable. It's $6 million. That's not the rarest thing. The way these come in on Amazon was pretty rare, because Amazon just doesn't get a fuck ton of flow. So we always pay attention to it. But what caught us on this, you've got the 2 million. These are all come in within 5 minutes. 1600s for August. So they're going to get the next DR. But the first one's $2 million. Then AA, which is above the ask. And the first price was $82 for these contracts. Then I believe $82.36. They jumped up to almost $86. Now the first 2 million hits at $82. The last 2 million is almost 86. That's not somebody bidding or something. That's not somebody saying,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just casually get in. That's somebody saying, fuck it. Here's $6 million.
Yeah.
Give me the fuck in. Right?
Yeah.
Are they going to be right? I don't know. I can't say. But it's interesting, and I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it. Did I go spend $80-something a contract to follow them? No, I did not.
Yeah.
But this can be an indication of a lot of things right here. So keep an eye on Amazon. Again, this is why we do watch the flow. I didn't follow it, but I'm going to keep my eye on it for sure. And Maria, let's talk about one of our favorites lately, AMD. Now here's another one we followed.
Yay.
Flow in 13s.
Oops.
The 13s for January, and we got in those, I don't know, probably a month or so ago. Those have just been kicking ass. I mean, we got them. I think the stock was probably at like 10 and a quarter, maybe.
Yeah.
It was under
I thought it was
10.50.
under 10 actually.
No, I had pulled up that flow earlier, and it was
10ish.
It was above 10. Yeah. So this one, 13. I mean, we've been saying 11. Then we got to 12 was the line. Now 13 is. So we're in the money on those contracts. We also have 13s for July that we've had even longer. We've had those for a couple months. Actually, we may have held those for 3 or 4 months. So we've had those 13s, and then we followed flow that was heavy, millions of dollars of flow that just came in one day, just boom, 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 pop. And AMD, it has AMD flow, and then you have unusual AMD flow. This was the unusual AMD flow. Actually, Maria, if you can pull up, this was somewhere around 420, and these were yellows. So you'll have to take out the whites and everything.
Yeah.
I think this was around 420, and you'll have to probably move the other date to about 5/1 to catch those.
So 420 was
there. Let's see. So
there's
scroll up and down through there.
423.
There it is. The 13's right there in the yellows.
Right there, 423.
So, that $2 million block at the end right there was kind of icing for us. And there had been some buying, but they just kept taking out those 13s and ended with $2 million that day. And it was the same buyer from what we could tell. So we just popped it with them. But that's flow we watch. You don't see a lot of $2 million blocks come through. You see a lot of 10s and 20s and 50s.
Not only that, Tim, what actually caught my eye was the fact that these were leaps. So they were buying 13s out to January, which granted with AMD kind of makes sense because, AMD is AMD, and when she's not on her meds, she can do strange things. So yes, they gave themselves a lot of time, but the flow that we had been seeing was all much shorter term. So all of a sudden you have, sweeps and blocks coming in, ask side out to January. It definitely caught our attention.
And you're right. Looking under that, you're seeing 10s, 950s, 10s, 11s, blah, blah, blah. 13s for January. Yeah. That made it unusual in itself. And the dollar amount they were willing to spend. So again, that's some of the stuff we will follow. So we'll do ERs. We followed some PayPal, Maria, a couple of weeks ago. You're still in that. Go ahead and pull up PayPal as well. PayPal was getting its ass kicked. And I believe that flow, I had actually posted that flow earlier today. Let me go find it. That flow was on.
I know it was like
It was the
there's
beginning of.
four
It was
million, 5.2,
yep, five
3
two, three
million.
and four.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We actually followed them
look
right
at
off that dip.
right. So if you'll notice at the bottom of that screen, the stock price is 78, 77, 74, 74, and this is on 425. And then you get to 5-1, the stock still is around 74, and then boom, this flow starts coming in, and the stock actually drops over that news that was Amazon was going to do their own payment
Yeah, it was
system or
an
some shit.
Amazon.
It was an Amazon thing, and we went ahead and followed that flow, just right into it. Actually, I can't say we. Maria did, and I know a few other people in the room did, because that was the topic that day. Is oh my god, and it actually dipped after you bought those contracts, and we had to kind of keep a couple of people from being nervous about it because they're like, oh my god, it's still dropping. But you don't see that kind of flow for no reason, right? So that is flow. That's a good example. We will do ERs, momentum trades, and we'll do flow trades. But we don't wake up every day and go, it's one or the other. It's what comes to us. It's what comes to us. It could be news at 12 o'clock of anything, just going across CNBC that we'll trade off of. So that's just some examples of those kind of things that we do. Maria, somebody wanted us to look at Blink as well.
Yeah, that thing was moving like crazy. It was like, let me
Yeah.
get like a 20-day pulled up. Yeah, it was a buck. It was $1 stock. And then it took off and just kept going. We talked about it, I think, in our last video. And we were wanting to see it pop, or we were wanting it, I'm sorry, let me rephrase. I believe we were wanting it to hold this line. We were looking
No,
at
we
this
wanted to
line.
get through that line.
There you
We
go.
wanted to get through
It's
that line.
Saturday or
And,
Sunday.
and it did. So Wednesday, that's the line we wanted to get through. It did, or actually that was on Tuesday. Thursday and Friday, it did do that. You know what? I've got my days fucked up too. That's the line we wanted to get through. Now that's the line we wanted to hold. So that 645 area, that was the buy signal, and now that's where it really needs to hold. If Blink's going to keep going. I mean, not that it couldn't dip under it and then pop again, but that's the line that's our kind of, if it falls under that, we would have to reevaluate line. So
Exactly.
yeah, ER and everything else. So Blink, keep an eye on that one. And Maria, let's see. Somebody had asked us about Acre, and I did want to kind of talk about that. This was one of our favorites before the last ER, from the 70s to the 90s, and then it just got hit. And it's almost back to that. We had a drop deadline of, guys, if it goes under 75, cut your position. And
Yep.
it did, and it dropped in the 40s, and we actually had a couple people like happy about that because they did use that as their out. So now Acre, here we are back to levels that older levels we were watching. So I would prefer to see it through 70 personally. Yeah, we've been watching this one for a while. Look at all those lines
We
we've
have
had on
been.
Acre.
So the line right now it's right around 70, and I will throw a couple of circles over here. This is why I'm watching 70. We've got a little bit of resistance through there. It was previous support and resistance previously. So the 70 line is what I'm watching. It flashed down here at one point, kind of under it, but held it for the most part. So 70 is the next level it needs to get through. And above 70, then it's at 75. So we're going to keep an eye on.
Yep, and if we get through that, then we could see, I think we could see 90s again.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could.
I agree. If it gets through 75, we'll just see what kind of news and things they come out with. And Maria, Boeing is something you had showed me earlier today. We was talking, I'm sorry, Facebook was something you
Facebook,
were showing
yeah.
me earlier today, and I was quite impressed with the line we already had, and not only that, but the new line.
It's
So
just
that first
holding.
red line down
Yeah.
there at that 175 area, that's where we wanted it to clear, and it did get that line clear, and then as you see, it's just been coming back up. Now we've got, what is that, 180 what?
It's like 182. It's 182.60-ish. So guys, I don't like to use one specific number as support or resistance. So 182.50 to 182.60, 65-ish
Well, I
in that
like the way that's
area.
holding.
Yeah, I really, really like the way it's holding. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Which way is it going to go? Don't really know. Kind of looks like it's forming a little bit of a cup. Have no clue which way it's going to go. I do know that it closed right at that line or right close to that line. So we will keep an eye on it and play whichever direction it wants to take.
Well,
If it wants to dip,
and
we have some space.
just to be fair here, I talk to Maria a lot, and we talk stocks all the time, and she's like, "Hey, have you seen Facebook?" And I'm like, "I'm not paying attention to Facebook." She goes, "No, you should look at this." And I'm like, "Oh wow, that's pretty." So yeah, I was kind of blowing it off till she showed me, and I was like, "Okay, no, that you were right." So my apologies in a public forum.
Well, I don't know if I'm right. We'll see what happens with it, and I'm not
Well,
in it
no,
yet.
you were right that we needed to keep an eye on these levels. So,
Yeah,
and I do agree with that 100%. So good find no matter what it does. And this is what research all weekend does, right? You find things like this. So, no, I think it was a good catch. And going back to earnings, let's look at Bison. Now, this is the one Spectre killed it. A few other people killed it. I'm not
I
going to
played
tell you
it
what they
too.
called me in the room.
That
I'm not going to tell you what they called me in the room,
was
but
funny.
yeah, it was very, very funny, and it really was. And we like to play ERs, and this is one we've got history with because, again, as Maria said with TTD, generally Bison runs for a few days. Just historically, this thing can run for a few days. And go back to that, you've got a line across there. That's the old 52-week high, which was, I think, set in March, if I remember right. I believe that was,
Yep, March
yeah. So
21st.
March 21st. So you can see what's happened since it broke those 52s. And a lot of people won't play a 52 break. We will play an old 52 break like a fiddle. Did I? For some reason that day I did not. And it actually came down to the buy point a couple times. Spectre nailed it. You nailed it. A couple other people I got DMs from nailed it and said, Tim, why didn't you get in this one? Because, I was on it. I just didn't get in it. So congrats to you that did. Again, this was not a flow play. This was just an ER play. And we kind of know how these companies historically run. That's part of why people follow us on there is, we didn't start trading these 3 months ago or last quarter. We've been trading a lot of these for, some of them is like in Facebook years,
Yeah.
since the beginning of Facebook.
Was
So, but we've been doing
about
this a
the
long
other day.
time.
What a shit show that was. Holy crap. Yeah,
Yeah, you were a
I mean
broker
Facebook,
back then.
yeah, like that was a nightmare. I played it myself too. So yeah, a lot of these tickers that we talk about, we've been playing forever. Nvidia, I started playing between 30 and 40. When it was down there, we just keep playing it. Tim's been trading Nvidia for fucking or forever. Excuse my language, guys. Tim's been playing it forever. So a lot of these tickers, once you play them daily for so long, you kind of get a feel for how they like to move. And granted, they're not all going to move the exact same way every single day, but you tend to learn their characteristics. Like Nvidia, if Nvidia makes a high and doesn't push through that high, you can be pretty sure that you're going to see like one of those straight drop candles, like 50-cent candles on Nvidia. It
Yep.
happens all the time. So little characteristics like that, you kind of learn. And if you are an active trader, if you're scalping or if you're day trading, knowing those kind of things is really helpful.
Absolutely agree. 100. So yeah, that was the situation where I had a 52-week break, clean ER, and I'm not a perfect trader. I had some great calls last week, but not this one. I was in on it calling it. I just wasn't in on it playing it. So I'm not the guy that says I played everything. If I don't play it, fuck it. I can't get credit for it. So I'm going to give this one to Spectre and you, Maria, for playing it, and then a few more that I know that nailed it. And we were going to play the 50s for next month when the stock was at, I want to say it was around, actually, when I first started talking about it that morning, it was barely above 50. And I think it moves to $5 increments and monthly. So I'm like, well, we can play the 50s for next month. Oh my God, those things. I looked a couple hours later, they were tripled, but whatever. Anyway, congrats to those that did. But again, hey, at least we, got a few people on it. Maria, look at RNN. Somebody had sent us a message to take a look at this one, and we kind of briefly looked at it earlier.
So here is RNN. Let me go out probably about a year actually. Come here. Here we go. So the reason why we wanted to talk about RNN is because it is hitting a line that it needs to get through. So 239 is where I have a line. So let's say 230. I'm going to say 235 to 240-ish is your area of resistance. Maybe even a little bit higher than 240, where you kind of need to clear that level to continue to see some kind of movement up. Now they did have ER recently on 5-7. Looks like I don't know if they missed or beat. I'd have to go back and check. However, this line right here, we got to get through that. You'll see that it was former area of support. It was resistance, support and resistance through here back in September. It was an area of resistance back in July. So does it have potential to get through there? Yeah, nice little cup forming through there. It has potential, but it has to get through there. So be careful with this one. Keep an eye on that 240-ish area. If you're in it, you might want to, keep a closer eye on it and take your green when you can.
I agree with that. Let's go ahead and pull up Boeing. I know several of y'all played Boeing Friday. Again, this is one I didn't play. Maria, I know you were on it. There were
Mhm.
several. I mean, all day in the room, I keep hearing Boeing new highs, Boeing new highs, Boeing new
Yeah.
highs. Not
Boeing's
52-week
at a
highs,
nice
but day
spot.
highs.
So Boeing's at an interesting spot. So 350, and let me go back to the shorter time frame. 350 was a little bit of a problem. Like 350, 351, kind of didn't like that area very much. Up here, sold off, but it held well. Actually, it held above 350 now that I'm looking at it and remembering it. It did hold above 350. So I am swinging 355s for this coming week. There was some flow on it. Let me pull that up. And here's
Yeah,
your flow.
definitely some flow there.
Here's your flow on it. They came in at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:04 a.m. So right after the open, above the ask, small sweep, nothing big. 355s for this coming week. Another sweep came in the middle. Then we have an above the ask for 525, 360s. Now, granted, we have some bid side sweeps as well. I like that area that it cleared, and looking at a longer time frame, let's go 6 months. Looking at a longer time frame, I think that if Boeing, oh my gosh, guys, what's wrong with me? Maybe I need a nap. Let's see. So if Boeing can get through this 352, 353-ish area clearly, I think that there's a little bit of space to play it. Now, I'm not planning on holding it for a long time. I bought, one calls a week out. So chances are I may sell this right into the open on Monday, depending on how things look.
Since you want to talk about NVIDIA, let's go ahead and pull it up.
I'm so sorry, guys. I've got NVIDIA on my
I'm kidding.
mind today for some reason. Let me get
You got,
NVIDIA.
it's not just today. I think you stay with NVIDIA on your mind. Maria, who you're married to
Oh,
NVIDIA, so
NVIDIA. So
nice
NVIDIA,
upgrade.
interestingly enough, yeah, that was a really nice upgrade. That was Cohen, right? I believe. I'll pull that up while you're talking.
Yeah, nice upgrade. I think it kind of got AMATted, AMAT, which is something, while you're actually pulling this up, a lot of people Thursday were buying the MU dip, and we were cautioning them, guys, let's wait to add any to this position or any new positions till AMAT releases. Now, granted, if AMAT would have beat, MU could have been a lot higher. So I guess there's pros and cons to that. But you had to flip the coin twice. If you're going to buy MU, you had to hope everything in the world was good overnight. They've got Investor Day Monday. We'll get into that in a second. But if AMAT misses, this is going to be ugly. So I think AMAT kind of drug down MU, and NVIDIA wanted to pop, and I think it will. I think it kind of got AMATted chipped as well because LRCX, everything down in the sector, except AMD. Anyway, you've got that pulled up. Go ahead, Marie.
So Cohen initiate, they started at an outperform, gave them a 325 price target. We did scalp NVIDIA early in the morning, caught a little bit on the put side as well. I still like it. It's still hanging out around that 245 area, struggling still around 250, 252. I really would like to see it get, above 255. That would be really not, at least that's what I would like to see. I am not swinging any long-term NVIDIA right now. So I kind of just need a little bit more clarification, or not clear, or a little bit clear of a direction before I buy anything longer term. But I will pick up something here soon.
And looking across there at that line, I mean, that's definitely an interesting line.
There you go.
Yeah. So you could definitely use 245 as your base. So, and I agree. Normally, you do have something further out on NVIDIA. This is the first time in a while you haven't, actually. Maria, we got just a
Yeah.
couple more low floats. BPMX, go ahead and hit that.
Yeah. Here's your 5-day chart on it. Let's take a look and see what it looks like a little bit further out. Actually, I want to look at a year. You see where this wick is, right? The top of this wick. Look at all of these areas through here that this was some major support. It was also resistance previously. So definitely an area to keep an eye on. Let me look at 20 days. So on a 20-day, I have the circles already on there for you. You'll see that it does need to get through this line. And it looks like it may have popped a little bit after hours on Friday, potentially, but about 20, let's say 21 to 22 cents. You need it to get above there. And the thing that you're going to need to be careful of is that you're going to have a lot of congestion above this line. It's not clean. It's really choppy all throughout here. If you look to the left of the screen, look at how many different levels potentially that you have to work through.
Oh
So
God, yeah, and that's
yeah,
just in a few cent areas. So careful
exactly.
this one. Watch it, but that is your first level right there. We were asked about that one, and we had a note. Somebody wanted to see TNDM. I'm not familiar with that one.
They're a bio and they are looking pretty. Let me look at,
Oh
oops,
shit. Maybe I need to get familiar with that.
look at
Wow.
this one. It was back in February. It hit a low of $2.14. Now trading at $12.95
Jeez.
or 12.80. I'm sorry, that's a 52-week high. It closed at 12.83 on Friday.
Wow. Yeah, I see that gap down it had there into the twos, and then as soon as it got through that, jeez. Wow.
That was
Yeah.
actually a 1-for-10 split back here. So that's what caused initially, that's what started this drop. It had a one, well, let me rewind. Here was the drop back on 10/9, kind of tried to bounce a little bit and ultimately got down. I don't know if there's any news in between there. Kind of just stayed in that low $2 area. I think it might have approached 4 at one point, but it has taken off. Their last, let me see if there's any news on them. They were upgraded to overweight at Piper Joffrey on the 14th.
Jeez.
They had some
I wish I'd
presentation.
have seen that.
Yeah. They had ER as well back in April. Here was their ER.
Yeah, not bad on the R. I want to see that upgrade though.
Sure, let me get that pulled up. Piper Joffrey gave him a $13 price target,
Wow.
upgraded to overweight
Okay.
from neutral. It
Just
says
the
that he
beginning.
believes Tandem is about to enter a Goldilocks period where they have a superior closed loop system for several years. Additionally, the analyst sees upside to pump shipment with further room for multiple expansions and believes that this is just the beginning of share appreciation. So I've actually been keeping like a light eye on this one. It was trading at $2, and then one day it was trading at $4, and then it was trading at like $6. And last time I saw it, it was around 8. So I actually have not seen it since it was in the 8. And wow, what
Well,
a move!
what was it on the 14th when this came out? What was the price?
So the on 5/14, oops, come back. Yeah, that's the day. That's this candle right here.
Jeez.
So it started around
Nice.
9 and change, or like it was the range was 9, low of 9, and a high of 11 and change.
Looks like somebody front run that upgrade. Nice.
Kinda.
So anyway, yeah, let's keep an eye on this one. That's incredible. Well, it's sort of like the ECYT. If you remember, it was a couple dollar stock, and it just boom,
Yeah.
there we went one
Have
day.
you seen that one? Look at this one. Did we talk about this one yet?
We did. We talked about
We did
ECYT on the
earlier,
first stock we
right?
talked. That was the very first one. Let's go look at Autodesk. Now that's on the ER list for next week.
Yay.
I did want to pull that up real quick. That's one of our favorites to play.
Let me pull that up. I am on a 1-year chart.
And then I
Autodesk.
only have
Um, yeah,
one
here's
more
Autodesk.
stock.
So last ER, they kind of killed it and gapped way up. So they were in the 116s, gapped up, hit like 138 and change, hit a high of 141. We played that at that time as well. We picked it back
Actually,
up.
that ER was a Mr. Wood gap play,
Yes,
and it
you're
worked.
right. It
It
did
was
work.
a Mr. Wood because it filled that whole gap on that ER. And then we've played it a few times since then. And this
Yeah.
one, yeah. Go ahead, Maria. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So I'm watching this line right here. I think that there's a little bit of resistance around 140, a little bit below it. I'm looking to play this until I'm not planning on, well, let me rewind. I don't think I'm gonna hold through ER. Every now and then I may, you know, play one suicide call, YOLO, one play on it or one contract on it I'm looking to just try to play a 52-week high break. We'll see what it does on Monday. I'm thinking we might see a little bit more of a ramp into the ER, or we might get a little bit of movement ahead of the ER. And I will decide at that point if I want to hold anything through. I doubt it. If I do, it'll be one single contract.
Here's one that you brought to my attention a few minutes ago. Actually, before I get to that one, I said I had one more stock after this, but Costco, we did pick up Costco on Thursday. We bought the 200s for June 1, slightly red in those by 3%, 4%, maybe 10, $15. Even though Friday kind of looked ugly for a minute, it came way back. But we did play those before that 200 break there on
That was a
Thursday.
gorgeous
We're
call,
actually up.
Tim.
We were actually up about 35, 40% there at one point. We got those at 370 and they hit almost 5. And so we are still in that, because somebody will ask, are we still in Costco? Absolutely. We are still in Costco. We got ER
We are
coming around the corner.
Costco.
Hopefully this is another ER ramp play like she just said about Autodesk. Maria, one you brought to my attention a minute ago, I did just want to tell everybody we are still in Costco that we got Thursday, but you brought up, and I thought it was interesting, Red Hat. Now, you told me, I think it was last weekend, RL. So keep an eye on that one, and you were right about that one. Look at this one here, though. This is interesting.
I like this
So
one. Look at this. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm liking it. There was no news that caused this dip. No news whatsoever. It had hit an all-time high. Hard sell-off. Found some support at that 160-ish. I wish I'd caught it at 160. It's currently at 163, so not too far off. Is there potential for rejection around 165? Absolutely. However, I think I'm going to go ahead and start a position here. Just buy a couple contracts. If it dips, I'll pick up some more and play it from there. But I like it I mean, at this point, just looking at the chart and the way it likes to go, yeah, we might get some consolidation, but I think that we will at least attempt to break that all-time high.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so Red Hat's on my buy list.
So that's on there. And Maria, I don't really have anything else. I think you have some analyst days and some ERs you were going to hit
We do
real
have
quick.
some analyst days. I do want to talk about one other one. It's a low float, and I just saw it in my DMs a few minutes ago. AMRS. Someone asked if we're still in AMRS. We are. We have September calls. It had a really nice day. Just wanted to give you guys an update. Yes, we are still in Amy. She's down, but I still like it. So we are going to hold on for right now.
We are. Yep, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, we've got September. What calls? 750s or 5s? I don't even know. 750s?
7.5. Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah. So we'll see what this next CR does. After that big run it had on the last one, I'm cool.
Yeah.
She still looks like she's on her meds and everything. So yeah, Amy, we are in. Maria, go ahead and hit those
Analyst days.
analyst days.
So we've got a couple this week. This week we have on Monday, we have MU, that analyst day, or their analyst investor day starts at 1:30 Eastern. On Tuesday, we have XLNX, that's at 3 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesday, we have like 5 on Wednesday. ALGN, which is one of my favorite. You guys know that. I love ALGN. It's a good one. It can be choppy, but it's a good one. ALGN, their analyst day or time starts at 8:30 a.m. Thermo Fisher Scientific, TMO, they have an analyst day. Theirs starts at 9 a.m. Pure Storage, PSTG, is at 5 p.m. Cuervo, QRVO, starts at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and HUN starts at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So there are several analyst days coming up on, between the beginning part of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So keep an eye on those names as well. And
MU
earnings.
being my favorite out of that. Yep.
I know.
And Align. But MU is one that the whole world's watching. ERs? Yep. What do you got on
ERs, we do. You know what? Can we just, I hadn't looked at this. I hadn't looked at a 5-day on MU before this, and I just need to show you something. So let me extend that over to the left. Look at where it bounced off that low on Friday. Do you see that? Look over on the left side of the screen. You see that?
Well, the people that know us, and some people did do this, we buy MU 6 weeks before ER. Rain or shine, grit or teeth, just hold it. Haven't ever seen it not work out. Monday was the buy day. I did not trade Monday. Not one trade, so I did not buy that. I will probably go ahead on any weakness, and I will get my MU. I'll be a week late, but normally we do pick that up 6 weeks before ER, because generally speaking, that's a good 6 weeks. Yeah, Maria, good find there, and thanks for reminding me of that I need to take care of that tomorrow as well. ERs.
ERs. Sorry, guys. All right. On Monday, we have Pure Storage. They also, isn't that their, oh no, their investor days on Wednesday. So Pure Storage is on Monday, Carmart, Ferroglobe. Tuesday, we have Kohl's, AutoZone, TJ Maxx, Toll Brothers, Advanced Auto Parts, IGT, Cracker Barrel, ATN, Eaton Vance. After the close on Tuesday, we have Hewlett Packard, Intuit, Urban, C-Trip, The Container Store, Red Robin. So Tuesday's actually a pretty heavy day. Then Wednesday, we have Lowe's, Target, Tiffany's, Ralph Lauren, Kiwi. That's pre-market. After hours, we have NTAP, L Brands, Williams Sonoma, Synopsis, SQM. On Thursday, Best Buy. I'm excited for Best Buy ZR for some reason.
Me too.
So I need to look into that one a little bit closer. So Best Buy before the open on Thursday, Medtronics, McKesson, AMTD, Hormel. We have Sanderson Farms, 58.com. After the close, we have NTNX. That should be an interesting one. Splunk. Yay!
Oh yeah,
Splunk I'm
time
excited
for
about.
Splunk.
Yes, I actually I have some calls still on Splunk. Autodesk, Vive, Ross, Ross Stores, ROST, Gap, and 8x8 and Decker's Outdoor. And then Friday morning we have Foot Locker and HIBB, Hibbett Sports, and Buckle.
That's going to be actually a lot busier week than I had thought
Yeah, me too. I didn't
for ERs.
realize we had this many ERs left. There's some fun
Yeah,
ones. Tiffany's will be fun
I'm
too.
excited about this week. So, guys, gals, if you ever want a free trial to come out and hang out, watch the options flow, trade it with us, trade ERs, trade just whatever, low floats, anything. Just hit us up, StockTwits, YouTube, Twitter. We give week free trials. We do not ask for a credit card. You get full access to everything. We don't treat you any different than the people that are paying us. You get every question answered. You get every access to the system. We hold nothing back from any of you. So come on, check it out. And that's all I've got.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. Like Tim said, if you ever need a free trial, hit us up. You can find us on social media, whether that's StockTwits, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever the case might be. Just let us know. Also, if you have questions or topics or tickers that you want us to take a look at, go ahead and put those in the comments. We will take a look at those. Aside from that, I hope everyone has a great night and have a great week. And we will see you later. Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.